Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to some drama slop. It's I, your host, Killer Tectone. Let's get right into the news. Today, Hoyoverse being sued and laying off hundreds of American employees. Why? What does this mean? How did this happen? What's it mean for the future? Let's talk about it, but before we do, make sure to hit like, comment, and subscribe, and turn on the bell for all notifications for your daily drama slop. I love this community. I love the gotcha space. Even more so, I love the Hoyoverse community because a community full of retards and greedy, predatory companies will always produce a lot of content for me to bitch and react to. So let's go ahead and talk about it. So we had a source from a Reddit article with a further source, which we'll read immediately after, talking about the potential lawsuit that Hoyoverse will be having to deal with very soon, I guess. The U.S. Federal Trade Commission is preparing to settle with Hoyoverse over concerns that the money-making mechanics of Genshin Impact were deceptive. Oh my God! Are you telling me $300 for a chance or for a guaranteed unit in a fucking PNG 3D anime game is predatory? Holy shit! Gone are the days where we can play games like Wuthering Waves where we spend $100 and get a guaranteed weapon. Isn't that fucking nice? But unfortunately, Genshin Impact has laid the principles and laid the outline for what other games can perform as. Unfortunately, this 50-50 system is riddled all over the gotcha space, and I'm sure we all agree it's fucking bullshit. It is. It's fucking bullshit. Why do you think I care so much about Genshin Impact? Because Genshin Impact is what people are using as their blueprint for a successful game. So when shady shit goes on in that game, other companies are going to think, oh, this company's doing it, which means we can get away with it too. It's fucking shitty. Yes, I don't play the fucking game, but unfortunately, when that's the blueprint for every other game coming after it, it is fucking horse shit. And apparently, we might be seeing some repercussions for those servers very soon. The U.S. Federal Trade Commission is preparing to settle with the company behind the popular video game Genshin Impact over concerns that the money-making mechanics in the game were deceptive, according to people with knowledge of the matter. Some people who pay for the chance to win digital items in the game could be reimbursed as part of the deal, said the people who asked not be identified, discussing a confidential matter because they don't want to be killed by the Hoyo ninjas. Details of the agreement, which could be announced as soon as this week, weren't immediately available. Does this mean that players who got incredibly unlucky in Genshin Impact could be getting free primo gems in their mail? I don't know. What does this all mean? I'm not really sure, but let's figure it out. Here, let's read the whole article, and let's talk about how this is affecting Western culture as well. We already read all this. FTC consumer protection officials have been investigating Genshin Impact and its publisher, Singapore-based Hoyoverse, since at least last summer, according to another person. The case will be among the final act of the agency under its current chair, Lena Khan, a Biden appointee. Genshin Impact, played by millions, well, it's more like hundreds of thousands now. I mean, we can pretend there's millions, but sure, was developed by Chinese developer MiHoYo, which is part of Hoyoverse. The FTC investigation is centered in part on whether the process for obtaining rare 5-star characters is misleading because the value of virtual currencies in the game is too difficult to discern, said the people. An FTC spokesperson declined to comment. A spokesperson for Cognosphere, the distributor of Genshin Impact, declined to comment. The agency has broadly been looking into video games' use of so-called loot boxes when it had held a workshop on the issue. Players use real money to purchase the chance to obtain digital items. Yes. In case you guys don't know what this means, it's very hard to determine how much is 8,080 primo gems. How much is 1,760 primo gems in accordance to real money? A lot of the confusion has sparked outrage online via how much it costs to buy Hu Tao skin. When it's not listed as the direct dollar value, it does confuse the fuck out of people. It really does. Every game does this. When Wuthering Waves, you have your Asterite. In Honkai Star Rail, you have your Stellar Jade. In Zenless Zone Zero, you have your, I don't know, radio token icons, all that shit. Anything to make the consumer unaware of how much they're truly spending is very important. Why do you think whenever I talk and I do a 10 poll, I always talk about how it's $20 every single time I press the 10 poll button? And it is. Famous video game streamer Asmon Gold would take $20 bills and light them on fire every single time he did a 10 poll in Honkai Star Rail. Why do you think I remind everybody at max you could be spending upwards of $300 just to guarantee one unit in Genshin Impact, Honkai Star Rail, Zenless Zone Zero, or Wuthering Waves? It's not fucking good. Making consumers aware of how much they're spending is very important to me as a guy who has destroyed his life by being unaware of how much I was truly spending. They like to use terms like top up rather than buy more currency with your real money. to do anything to make you desensitized to how much you are spending on these video games. And it's very important because gacha games can be enjoyed responsibly. However, you need to be aware of the predatory business practices in order to do so. And that is where my channel comes in. At least that's what I like to think. Released in 2020, Genshin Impact is a role-playing game involving collectible characters with unique fighting skills. It was one of the first Chinese video games to ever go viral in the US. And Genshin Impact players purchase chance to win particular characters and items. The game has brought in more than $6 billion in revenue on mobile devices, and they still haven't fixed Amber's Kit, according to data from AppMagic, and it's also available on PCs, Microsoft Corp's Xbox, and Sony Group PlayStation consoles. The monetization strategy has stirred controversy. Love this website. I love how this thing just keeps on popping the fuck up and blocking my fucking screen. Good Lord, I hate news sites. Jesus Christ. The monetization system has stirred controversy among some gamers. The chance-based system called gacha is often compared to gambling because it is gambling. While it is common in China, Japan, and South Korea, Genshin Impact was one of the first popular gacha games outside of Asia. That's not true. Okay, one of the first? Sure. You know what? The terminology's fine. I thought it said the first. Still, money-making strategies involving gamers paying for the chance to earn digital goods are widespread and employed in Electronic Arts, Inc. soccer titles, and Valve Corp's Counter-Strike 2. Critics have said Genshin Impact's chance-based mechanics are more complicated than traditional loot boxes. For example, Genshin Impact players can spend real money on a virtual currency exchange for another currency and another, and then wish for characters that they want. More powerful characters are often more rare. Very true. Users can also obtain these characters for free by playing frequently, earning the virtual currency, and then wishing. Various other governments, including officials in the UK and China, have probed the use of chance-based mechanics in video games. Chinese regulators have long required game makers to disclose the odds of certain items. For example, the UK formed a committee for research of potential harms associated with loot boxes. Yes, the West is really starting to crack down on these predatory practices and the way that they use these terminology to deceive gamers. Now, unfortunately, for all of us gamers who are aware of these principles and know how to work around them, I don't think the government is going to understand, well, if I just play for 200 hours and I get it for free, right? Well, if I just save for 3 patches, then I'll just get it for free. A lot of people don't get that because a lot of people understand, well, this is a big Mr. Pokey take. Well, if I just play smart and I save my currency, then I'll get everything I want for free eventually. But the thing is, these games they're not targeting smart, informed individuals. They're targeting fucking dumbasses, right? And so a lot of people do a lot of dumb shit with their money because, well, that's who they're going after. Yeah, it is what it is. Now, is this related or is it not? I'm not sure. However, Hoyoverse has been doing a lot of unannounced layoffs. And I mean hundreds of employees are now jobless due to Hoyoverse expiring their contracts or not renewing it or straight up firing them. This is very not good. No, my time with Hoyoverse has come to an end. Made new friends, gained new skills, added global insights, onward, hashtag laid off. Happy New Year. It's been a while. After an incredible 2.5 years at Hoyoverse, I'm moving on due to the recent layoffs that took place before the new year. Looking back, I feel truly fortunate to have worked with such brilliant talents in the industry. I'm also grateful for many inspiring candidates I had the privilege to connect with, whose unique experiences and stories left a lasting impact. Genshin Impact. Working in a global organization was an amazing experience, and I'm especially thankful for the opportunity to use my Mandarin skills in my role. Very cool. China #1. Lamau, so no easy to say this, but I just got laid off from Hoyoverse, Genshin. I'll make a formal job post later, but you know anyone wanted to hire a writer/editor in games, think of me maybe. And lastly, beware of layoffs. Now, this is officially put on a job rating site telling you guys how good it is to work at Hoyoverse, rating them a scathing 2.0 out of 5 stars. That is not good. Let's read this here. Beware of layoffs. Anonymous. Do not recommend. Do not business outlook. Require CEO approval. Pro. You will work with some of the most passionate people and further shape your skills. Hoyoverse is a great stepping stone for your next company. Just like Genshin Impact is a great stepping stone for finding a real gacha game that you actually fucking enjoy. Layoffs are happening and not being communicated, leaving employees in the dark. Hoyoverse does not believe in communication if you are not based in their HQ of Singapore. Does that sound familiar? Yes, it does. Talk about all the creators in the American server who got laid off from their Hoyoverse contracts and the preferred creator program without a message, without any notification, without any communication whatsoever. China is going to be China. They don't give a fuck about you. Bye-bye. If you're not working, you are gone, and we will not tell you why. Or are you working and we just want to fire you? Well, we'll do it just for fun. We've also seen this in other territories like Japan, with the great Narrow Marrow being released from their Hoyo contract preferred creator server program with no notification or any heads up whatsoever. Not a good look. Internal politics affect global teams that had zero involvement. Holidays in Singapore are respected, but global holidays are not. And we are often messaged to be online for non-emergency issues. Get used to working late nights, as once the team in Singapore is on, you need to be as well despite set working hours. Sorry about that. This is not a one-off thing, it's every day. Advice to management. Communicate. Treat your employees with respect. Grow your employees instead of throwing them on any project because you don't have an adequate headcount for the project load. Now, does this sound familiar? Yes, it does sound like absolutely everything that I've been warning the West and other territories of for years. However, nobody's going to talk about this. Have you noticed how you didn't see any of this on YouTube? That's because they don't want you to know about this on YouTube. They don't want you to know about this on Twitch because people are uncomfortable talking about this. Yes, working at Hoyoverse sucks balls. Working for Hoyoverse sucks balls. Being contracted for Hoyoverse sucks balls because they do not respect their employees. They do not respect their creators unless you suck their dick. So congratulations, dick suckers. You have job security. But I live in a world where maybe we don't need to do that to make sure that we can make ends meet and keep the lights on in our house. But that's just me. Anyways, hey, editor, I need you to cut that up to where I actually sound coherent and that I'm actually fluid in what I'm saying. Thank you, man. You definitely won't keep this in. A lot of people don't get that I'm doing this shit in one take, so just go ahead and chop that up to where I sound smart. But don't include this in there. Just make me sound really smart. So don't keep this in. Do not. Great. Let me know what y'all think. I'll see you on the next one. All y'all Genshin Impact CCs, keep on shilling. Hope you feel happy about promoting this predatory gacha game to children with no remorse or any awareness of what these people are actually doing in their game. See you all in the next one. I'm out.